Yeah, thanks.
Okay, and then we have to,
All right, we got enough of that. We've had enough of that bell ringing thing.
I liked it.
Okay, welcome everybody. Here we are back on Zoom again, temporarily. Hopefully we'll talk a little bit about the next schedule for the rest of the month here. But welcome, it's a nice day. Hopefully after the meeting, you can get outside and wander around. Let's start off with the Rotary motto.
Service above self.
So, okay. And everybody please stand. Cite the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and I'll ask one and all to please remain silent, bring good thoughts into your head and hopes for the future. Moment of silence. Okay, thank you all. And first on the agenda, an important item as always, Paul, I'll ask you to go ahead and kind of review the whole COVID situation with us.
Okay, well, if the number of cases and all the locations that I follow continue to improve. I didn't get a chance to report the last week at least, but the last week, Cape Charles had dropped from 5 cases a week where we had been stuck for a while to 3, and then this past week is just 1. So that's good. In Northampton County in general, dropped from 13 a couple of weeks ago to 7 to now 5 in the past week. Accomack County is improving also, but it's lagging behind. And it's Accomack County is still in the quote substantial transmission range, not high anymore, but substantial. And Virginia Beach is in that same category. The nice thing really about Northampton County's number is that it's now dropped from substantial to moderate transmission in the CDC's recommendations for masking and such changes a bit when it makes that drop. So now fully vaccinated people in a moderate transmission area are no longer required, according to the CDC guidelines, to wear masks. People who are not vaccinated, of course, still should wear masks. And of course, that doesn't apply if you go to Accomack County or Virginia Beach. You still wear a mask in indoor public places. But in Cape Charles, it's no longer required. So that's a nice improvement. Now I didn't get a chance to report last week. I had reported in my little newsletter that I send out that the CDC published still another study, this involving a lot more people, something like 4,000 people, I think, which pretty much proved conclusively, and it's now fully accepted by the scientific community, that having had a previous case of COVID does not protect you against a future case of COVID. The protection you get from being fully vaccinated is between 2 and 5 times as high as it is if you've had a previous case of COVID. So we should no longer regard people that have had a previous case of COVID as immune. Any questions?
One thing I saw, well, a couple of things I saw this week is it sounds like they've got emergency approval for 5 to 11-year-old vaccines, correct?
For Pfizer.
Right. And then
Right.
the other thing I saw, interestingly enough, I think it was from Pfizer also, is they actually have a treatment pill that you can take that alleviates or even gets rid of COVID if you are infected. Is that true?
Yes, I forget what the percentage is. I think you can reduce the risk of hospitalization and death by a pretty substantial number. It's by more than 50%. And in fact, it reduces death, the chances of death by much greater than that. It's probably something like 90%. In fact, the percentage for hospitalization is probably significantly improved, more than 50%. So it's not been approved by the FDA, of course. I think that they've applied to the FDA for emergency approval, but it would be, a pretty big deal for people who come down with COVID.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's a lot of good news for a change, Paul.
Yes, right.
Okay, anybody else have questions for Paul on COVID? All right. Then we come up, next meeting, we're going to do by Zoom as well. But the week following that is Thanksgiving week. So I kind of want to get the sense of everyone. We would have the opportunity at that time to meet in person. So this is kind of a multiple, let's take a poll thing. So the week, 2 days before Thanksgiving would be the Tuesday. Would everybody please raise your hand if you could make an in-person meeting at the coffee house? Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 9 out of 16. 9 out of 16. Okay.
I see 17.
17.
Yeah, 17. I'm sorry. All right. So that's a little bit better than half. We'll take another poll next week.
Did you count Murphy and Stanley?
You know what? I don't see them on here right now.
Murphy's
Murphy's
on.
back.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I
and
counted
Stan
Bill.
raised his hand last hour.
All right. Okay, we'll make it 10 then. 10 out of 18. Okay. We'll take a poll next week too on that. Now, I think that kind of wipes out my next one, but it was going to be, should we have a meeting at all? In other words, are you going to be busy Thanksgiving week with family, or you're visiting somebody else or whatever? But from the hands I saw go up saying, hey, we're good with meeting in person, I assume that kind of wipes that out. All right, we'll check again next week and we'll nail it down whether we'll go ahead and meet. I'd like to meet 2 days before Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody else is on board with that. And we keep getting all the good news from Paul on the COVID situation too. So more to come on that next week. We had a great cleanup day on Saturday. Thanks very much to Al Paschal. He got everything organized. We were ready to go at 8 o'clock and we got right on it. We got through it. We had a pretty nice weather situation later on in the day. It got a little bit iffy, but Al, thank you very much for taking care of that. And
Yeah, I'll second that. Al did a great job. He even thought of bringing extra gloves for people, which I had never thought of when I was running it. So good job, Al.
yeah.
Al also proved you don't need a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was a little hesitant when she heard I was going to pick up trash on the road with our new car. You're using what?
Yeah.
Now, actually, it was a team effort. It wasn't me. I'm grateful. Everybody pitched in very nicely. And I brought gloves because there is some nasty stuff on the side of the road.
Yeah. And, just imagine like Rotary members doing this in the middle of a big city or something, dude. Yeah.
How many
Talk about
volunteers
that.
did you end up getting, Al?
11 people. pitched in, which was really nice. And I got some good pictures. The woman at VDOT, I sent her some of the photos. I'll send you guys the photos that I took anyway. And I think Jim was around taking pictures too. So I think he might have some photos for us too.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, and we'll move down to the projects going on. I'll report first on the caboose. We have Bill Murphy with us too, and he's been right on top of it with us. So it's primarily been Bill Murphy, myself, and oh shoot, his name is escaping me, Bill.
Larry Lamont.
Larry Lamont. Yeah. Primarily been us three. Jim Rich has been there once or twice to help us. We could use more help. We're getting close to finishing up for the season. We may have 2, possibly 3 more sessions we need to do to get that roof finished. So we've got most of the roof done. We got 2 coats of real good paint on top of that. Underneath of it, we put a good sealant on it. We got where the roof overhangs a little bit on the sides. We got that to do. We got a little bit of patchwork to do. And at that point, we'll be done the roof. We also got the sides of the cupola. That's the little top piece that sits on the caboose. The sides of that are red. We're going to get that done too before the end of the season. At that time, it'll be completely done up on that roof. So next year, soon as we hit the end of February, beginning of March, when the weather starts getting into 50s and 60s, we'll get on the sides. That should be a little easier than climbing up on the roof and doing all that work. And hopefully we get a lot of volunteers in. I'd really like to get some younger kids join us as well to earn their community service hours, as well as give us older guys a break. So far, the roof paint that we put on there really looks good. It's supposedly guaranteed for 50 years. So we'll need some kids to come back in 50 years when they're our age now to check and make sure that roof is okay. That's the other reason we want kids. So anybody on here interested, even for a day or so, if you can pop in, we really appreciate any help. All right, Bill, we got some pictures.
Chuck, what's your work day on the caboose?
This week, it's going to be Thursday. We'll be there at 10.
Okay,
So we kind of vary it with the weather. So I like to get a day before and a day after where it's not raining, as well as the day we're painting. So we kind of judge it by what the weather's doing. But this week it's Thursday.
you might consider getting an email out because, you know, only 1/3 of the club is here.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's a good idea. I mean, I put it in the newsletter, but I think a specific email would be a little
Yeah,
more.
yeah, you gotta, you
Attention
know,
there.
because email is nice, but nobody reads it top to bottom.
Yeah, yeah. All right, thanks. I'll do that, Bill. And Bill Payne, while I got you, I think you've got a pretty cool picture to show us. A little story to go with it. Is Bob Church with us?
No, that's a problem. Bob's not here.
Okay,
But can you all see that?
yes.
Yesterday I was in Eastville and looked up, and there was Bob, and he's working on the 4th of 16 Eastville fire hydrants. And I mean, he just did, they look great. They're bright red. That's his 1 gallon of paint that Eastville bought him. He's down about 1/5 of the gallon, so he's going to need more paint. And we should be ready to help him out and spell him on this. He knows the locations. He has the paint. So if you're interested in helping out, contact Bob, and I'm sure he'll arrange for you to paint a few fire plugs. it's a great week for painting outside.
Yeah, and speaking from personal experience, it's a good idea to have old clothes on or coveralls like Bob was wearing when you're painting. Because you can be as careful as you want, but I think Bill Murphy will echo what I say. You can wear gloves and everything else, but you get home and you got paint on you somewhere on your clothes. So, all right. And Mary Ann Smith School, Bill Payne.
Nothing to report today, but I'm thinking about Oregon. I have to understand from them exactly what our work project will be. And I'm thinking after Thanksgiving, we'll go up and spend a few hours for some photo ops so we can close the project out. So nothing today, but stay tuned.
Okay. And just a reminder to, I'm not sure everybody was here, the one meeting Bill brought this up, but the Boys and Girls Club are continuously meeting there now, right? That's their home base.
That's our new home.
Yep. Okay. And we have Diane here. Meddy's not here, but and Mary's here. So speaking for the basket raffle, any updates on that? Last time we heard it was going pretty well. A lot of people in the community involved in selling the tickets for it.
Sorry, I don't have any news on that.
Okay. All right. And we don't have John Burtis with us. And we have a number of people here with us right now in the Invisible History Project. So please speak up. Anyone?
I don't have an update.
Okay.
I don't either.
Okay. Bill or Reggie? Either of the Bills?
The only update I have is a community interview session has been coordinated by, I guess, Joan at the Civic Center. Joan, is it Joan?
What are we talking about?
Where we're going to be interviewing a group of individuals together.
Yes, that's going to be at the Civic Center in the afternoon.
So we're still continuing working on the interview process, but that's going to be a group of several individuals being interviewed at the same time at the Civic Center.
Okay. And I did get some information from Paul, Bill Murphy, and Meddy regarding what they're searching for, some information on. And I am looking through some archival newspapers, and I haven't forgotten you, but I'm going through them. I'm using a lot of different search criteria. And when I come across something else outside of your specific scope, but of interest to Black history in the Cape Charles area, I'm kind of flagging those too. And I haven't forgotten you, and I will get some information to you that I find out. All right. And that pretty much does it for the projects that I had on my list. Does anybody else have anything, current things they're working on or ideas for future projects? Go ahead, Bill. Bill Stram.
So I mentioned this to you. There's two things that are coming up in the next month or so that we've habitually done or helped out on. First one is Festive Fridays. So what the club has done for Festive Fridays is put up and take down the luminaries along Mason Avenue and Strawberry Street too, I think. So that takes two people each Friday. There's 4 Fridays. 2 people, takes about 30 minutes to set up and about 30 minutes to take down. So I'm gonna do the first one, and I may do some more, but I'm looking for volunteers for that. It starts at 5 and it ends at 8. So it would be helpful to get some folks for that. And then the second thing is, and this is where I'm going to next door to my neighbor here, right, that I'm pointing to it on my screen here, and that's Bill Payne about the Salvation Army bell ringing. So we usually
Okay.
do that. Just wanted to throw that out.
Bill Payne, I'll let you talk to the Salvation Army.
Yeah, Richard Starrett contacted us today. And so, you know, we're poised for that. I mean, if we do nothing else, Rotary does bell ringing and crab cakes. That's our brand. So on top of that, Bill.
Thank you.
All right, and as far as Festive Fridays goes, you can either contact Bill Stram or contact me, and if you're interested. It takes probably about a half hour to 45 minutes to lay the lanterns out, get them fired up, and maybe another half hour to collect them back up. And they're all kept right there at Strawberry Plaza in a little storage shack there where Santa Claus sits. So
The Santa Claus house, yeah.
yeah, so that's where we pick them up, and then when we collect them, we bring them back there at 8 p.m. So we'll do it each of the Fridays. If you're interested, it's a 2-shift thing. So basically you lay them out, and then you can either go home or do a little shopping or whatever you want to do, and then come back around 8 p.m., collect them back up, and drop them off, and then you're done.
Hey, Chuck, I suggest you and Bill get an email out on that too.
All right.
With the, you know, with the dates. Just so you get to more people that are on today. And even to remind those of us who are on what dates, so we can just look at them and see if we can work them into our agendas.
Right. Now, Bill Stram, do we start laying out the lanterns at 5 p.m. or a little bit earlier than that? It seemed like it was
probably a little bit earlier, because that's when Festive Fridays actually starts at 5.
Right.
So I think it would probably be beneficial to do it about 4:30.
Yeah, that's because in my mind, I was thinking it was still daylight when we were laying them out. Okay. All right, I'll get an email out, and I'll put in there that they can contact either you, Bill, or me, and we'll keep a combined list.
And like I said, I will at least start off doing the first one, and the first one is the Friday after Thanksgiving. So.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Bill, you can consider me your partner for that one.
All right. Super.
Okay. All right. So we got one down. We'll have 3 more to go. So team of 2 people for 3 more Fridays. All right.
Let me ask you a question. Has the Rotary Club here done Christmas food baskets for needy people in the community in the past? As a service project?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I don't recall that. Is that something you'd be interested in putting together, Reggie?
Sure.
Working with somebody else or some other people in the group?
I'd be willing to lead that if we can get a couple of other people to work together. Al Pascal, okay.
Reggie, I'll give you a hand with that.
Stanley?
I will as well.
Okay, Al, Stanley.
That was Diane.
Diane.
Yes.
And who did I miss? Did I miss someone? Okay.
I'd say you got them all.
Hey, Reggie?
Okay, yes.
Reggie? I do that for 50 families for my church. So I'd be very happy to tell you how we get our names and what we do, and then you can do whatever you like after that.
Okay, thank you, Joan. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll reach out to the group sometime today via email so we can coordinate getting together, and because we have a short time frame here. Thanksgiving is only a couple weeks away.
Yeah. Paul, is there anything that we do for tip
Go
of
ahead.
fee?
Reggie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
What does this entail? Do you make contributions, purchase the food? What's the process?
Well, I think the group's gonna need to make a decision on that,
Okay.
Jackie, simply because there's such a short time frame. So, yes, would you like to participate in that discussion?
I'm giving it some thought, but I don't know what you need to do, so it's difficult for me to make a decision with insufficient information.
She says she'll do whatever you want her to do, Reggie.
Thank you for speaking for her, Bill.
Jackie,
Okay,
Jackie, I
Jackie.
think I think they'll do some fundraising with pole vaulting. Would you be interested in doing display?
Oh,
of pole
yeah,
vaulting?
yeah, I'm ready. I just finished my physical therapy. I'll probably be the champion.
That's what I was banking on. You had your physical therapy all done.
Okay.
All right, let me see here. Okay, we're gonna have Bill Payne. Keep an eye out for Karen. She ought to be joining here shortly she's our guest speaker today. She was gonna come in late, so.
Okay, she's not here yet.
Okay, and why don't we move ahead to Happy Dollars, Bill? All right, who's got some Happy Dollars?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead, Reggie.
$10, 10 happy dollars. My wife and I and a couple of my siblings, we collected my 103-year-old cousin this past week.
Wow.
Took her over to my dad's house. They sort of grew up together, and she considers him her brother, although they are first cousins, and celebrated her 90, my dad is almost 90, but celebrated her 103rd birthday with her, and other family members celebrated with her the following day. So that was a joy.
Wow.
And she was still completely mobile, lives alone, and everything, and phenomenal. So we enjoyed that a lot. $10.
That's incredible. Maybe we get her to do the pole vaulting display.
I was gonna ask, what's her secret? She doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke.
That's terrific.
She chews.
He doesn't chew either.
Bill Payne, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have happy dollar, 5 happy dollars, and I'm celebrating Bob Church. And I'm sorry he's not here, but you know, he's where he should have been. He was down there with that fire hydrant, and it's a very important. I think it's important because it's a very visible Rotary project. And I'm going to send a picture to Jim Rich, and hopefully Jim will give us some ink in the Eastern Shore Post with one of our more handsome Rotarians. Unfortunately, Bob had his mask on outside.
Yeah.
Nobody was near him, but he's being safe. So please join me in congratulating Bob on being a grand Rotarian.
Yes, yes.
Jackie's
very
got something. Come over here,
Go ahead,
Jackie.
Jackie.
So they hear you, Jackie.
Oh, they heard me before. Why
Come
can't
closer.
They hear me now.
We can hear you, Jackie.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I have 5 happy dollars. There are maybe 3 reasons for my happy dollars. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten. No, the first one is, as I just said, I have completed my physical therapy, and I want to give praise to those guys because they helped me physically to be able to stand up straight and walk without pain. The second thing is that Bill is going to share Thanksgiving with me. He's taking me on a little trip. I mean, I had to tie him up and pour hot water on him, but he agreed.
It's good to know what works.
I'll have to talk to you personally.
Okay, hurry. Karen's
All right,
coming
all
on
right,
board. Be
one-
careful.
One other thing. What was that one other thing? Bill? Oh my God, there was a third one. Seriously, I've forgotten that one, but $5 happy. My
Okay.
good luck and better health.
So it's 5 total?
Yes.
Right.
I have
Karen,
this.
we'll be with you momentarily, Karen. Go ahead, Bill Stram.
So I have $5 happy. I echo what Bill said about Bob Church, and Bob Church today will be doing 2 things. He will be conducting a flag retirement ceremony at Post 56 at 5 o'clock, followed by leading the post in a monthly meeting because the commander is out of pocket. And the second thing I want to mention is that on Thursday at 11 o'clock, because the commander is out of pocket, I will be conducting the Veterans Day ceremony at the Cape Charles Memorial. So for any of those people that are in town, it's a very nice ceremony honoring our veterans. So that's $5.
Thank you, Bill.
$7. Yes, I do.
Go ahead,
Can I
Mary.
ask a quick question? Can somebody actually email me the link to get in? Because I can only hit it on my phone and I can't use my presentation on my phone.
The Zoom link, you need the Zoom link.
I need
Yeah.
it sent to my email.
Yeah,
Send it
hang
to
on a
Karen.
second.
I'll do it.
Oh, you
Okay.
can do it, Bill? Okay.
Yeah.
Mary.
Mary's up.
Mary.
So
Go ahead, Mary.
I have $7 happy. So my first 5 was that I was able to listen to Bill Payne's bio, and that was that was awesome. I wish I could have talked to his mom, and so I could get some. I could get some wisdom, how to raise a child that someday has so much compassion for others like Bill does,
Oh,
and
yeah,
also
that's true.
has so much courage in her personality like Bill does. So I just feel like I could have listened to Bill talk more about himself like for days, but I don't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
My next happy daughter was my daughter got her first vaccine shot on Sunday after church at Walmart in Virginia Beach. And she does not have any side effect so far. So I'm very happy for that.
Good for her.
And my last, the 7th happy daughter was I passed my CFP board exam. And that was a big deal to me because
Here.
and I'm very happy. So that's all my
Fantastic.
happy daughters.
Congratulations. Go ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Paul.
Okay, I've got $5 happy as well. We had our granddaughter, Josie, back with us for a 3-day weekend this past weekend. As most of you know, she lived with us for 1 year and 8 months and then went back with her mom on Labor Day over in Virginia Beach, but we still see her most every weekend. And anyway, we had her for 3 days and she's very happy wherever she is. She's happy with her mom. She's happy with us. We went actually tent camping at Kiptapeak State Park on Saturday night. And when there was gale force winds and all, but I was very surprised that that Kiptapeak camping ground is basically in woods and is very well protected. So we had a very nice time. We had a nice campfire. She loved it, and it was a really fun experience.
All right. Okay, I will finish up with $5 happy. I'm getting a lot of videos from my daughter and granddaughter of my great granddaughter now walking around, getting into everything. So she's walking. She turned 10 months old, October 28th, and she's up and walking and getting into things. When she was here in September, I got all kinds of toys for her, but what she really liked playing with more than anything was wires. So she'd go find the cord from the lamp and the extension cord for this and the cords for my PC, and she loved playing with wires. That was her thing. So I think next Christmas, I've already got her Christmas gifts this year. Next Christmas, I'm going to get her a big box of wires to play with. And I know she's going to grow up just like her great grandpa and be an IT person because she loves wires. So that's my $5.
Future electrician.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill Murphy.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Bill and Bill have already said about Bob Church. Bob's been trying to get this fire hydrant thing going for a better part of a year. And I mean, I'm just real happy that we have somebody like that in our club who stuck to it and was determined to get this project going. And maybe the biggest part of it was that he finally talked the town of Eastville into buying a gallon of paint. So I think that was a very big accomplishment, apparently. And so anyway, I just had $5 in honor of Bob and how hard he's worked on this to get it done.
All right. Thanks, Bill. All right. Go ahead. Tom Godwin, did your hand go up? Go ahead.
I was so happy to know that Al has joined the Rotary. And Jim, I never did get your phone number, and Al either. I would like to have your phone number if it'd be okay with you.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Plus he doesn't get a free information 411. How much are you going to pay for those phone numbers, Godwin?
$5. Okay.
You hear me now?
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and move on to our guest speaker today. And we have, it is Karen, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I see Patty Sepity is showing up. on the
Oh,
screen.
I didn't change my name. That's my
That's
admin.
That's okay.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, she has her name automatically show up whenever we open Zoom here. So.
Okay. All right. And Karen is executive with the Cape Charles Main Street project. And before you came on, we were just talking a little bit about that with Bill Stram. He's intimately involved with Cape Charles Main Street. So we're definitely on board. This year, again, we're going to be working with you to do the Festive Fridays lantern deployment and pickup. So we asked Karen to join us and update us on all things Cape Charles. And Reggie, you talked with Karen. I don't know if you want to add some more in on the introduction.
Well, no, other than that Karen is about the hardest working person I know. She has done some tremendous things over the last year, and she'll talk about some of them regarding the grant that was providing tremendous support for small businesses in the area and those types of things. But I'm not going to take any more of your time, Karen. So we'll turn it over to you. I know you're going to do a great job as always.
Oh,
Bill
thanks,
Payne,
Reggie.
could you give her a screen share, Bill Payne? And is she all set, Bill? You're on mute, Bill.
Yeah, we're unlocked.
Okay, Karen, take it
away.
away.
Wait a second. I have to, I'm not sharing, so you can go ahead, Karen.
All right, did you give multiple people?
I just got off, so you're the only person.
Well, somebody's got to give me permission though.
So you have to enable it.
I did.
Can anybody see my screen?
Not yet.
Start again, try again, Patty. No, not Patty. I'm reading the screen.
Now, Diane,
it's available to
I've got share?
Okay,
screen?
hold on. I think I can get it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's
There's
see.
a little delay.
Let me see. It's not showing up on here. Hold on.
No, we're not seeing you.
Yeah, it's not showing up on here. Hold on. I think, let me see.
Ah, there you go.
Okay, now I gotta there we go. Can you see this?
Well, we see your screen is up, but you have to bring up your presentation.
I just did.
Oh, we're not
It's on
seeing
my
that.
screen. It says my
Um,
screen is being paused. Okay, let me do this.
There you go.
Yay.
I knew you could do it.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm happy to be here. I promise not to take too long, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. We actually had our rev up last night, where we had this conversation with a whole group of volunteers, thanking them. So I'm actually giving the presentation that we did last night. Because it does go over everything that Cape Charles Main Street has done this past year, the accomplishments, as well as goes into what we have planned for this upcoming year. So we thanked all our volunteers, and I know several of the Rotary people have volunteered for us. We've done everything from having our Easter Bunny to getting new benches in Strawberry Street, as well as Strawberry Street Plaza this past year. So we appreciate everyone on the Rotary that has also helped us with a lot of these projects. I'm just going to go right on. Patty Sapetti is right below my picture here. And Patty is our admin who does a ton of work and helps us coordinate some of the Festive Fridays that you're going to be working on. So I'm sure you'll meet Patty over Festive Fridays. If you're not familiar with our board, we have a lot of new board members this year. Tammy Holloway and Andy Buckholtz as president and vice president have been here, as well as Bill Stram, Patsy Harris, Molly for a while now. And now Reggie, and we have Terry Carney, our merchant liaison, Sarah and Aaron Foster, Ken Buddha, if you I think you can see Ken over there, and John Hosey has also recently joined our board, who was our town manager. Main Street America, I don't know how familiar you are, but Main Street America has invested over 42 years now in main streets all across the nation. And once you get fully designated, you get access to a lot of additional funding. And Main Street, we finally got our full designation this past year. So now we have the opportunity to apply for a lot more dollars and get access to a lot more help. These are some of the people and access to things that we get. We get a designated community revitalization specialist from Department of Housing and Community Development. They are helping us to seek out the grants we need to help make things happen here in Cape Charles. We get free access to design work from architects for facade improvements for some of our historic buildings, etc. But it's a pretty incredible thing that we get, and it's honestly helps pump a lot of dollars into the community. The biggest thing that we have going for us is the level of volunteerism here in Cape Charles. Since this past year, we've had over 2,000 hours of people volunteering time. And to date, Main Street has gotten over 8,000 hours. Why this is so important to us is that when we go for these grants through DHCD, they ask us to sometimes for certain ones, put in-kind contributions. So we have to do a dollar for dollar match. The more volunteer hours we have, they calculate that by a percentage of dollars and calculate how much that we can actually match to get grants. So it's very important that we track our volunteers. Here's some of the projects this past fiscal year that we've completed. One of the biggest ones that people are familiar with is the COVID relief grant. We are just in the process of trying to wrap that up now. I can give you some numbers on that in a couple of minutes to tell you where the dollars have gone and how many businesses. But we've also delivered a new town map. And one other huge project, we completed a new website and microsite for Cape Charles, Virginia's Cape, as well as Cape Charles Main Street. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. We've participated in a lot of events, and even though it was a COVID year, we still had events because we just had to do them in a different way. We started porch happy hours, we organized sidewalk sales, we distributed masks, did signage. We did a lot of things to kind of keep our business community, keep them going, really. And we participated in a lot of different marketing campaigns. We ran a WBOC show. I'm not sure how many of you saw it, but I have links to it in this presentation, which I'm happy to send on to you. But it's an hour show that goes through a lot of what Cape Charles has to offer. We also did another show with Chesapeake Bay Magazine. This is a look at the home site of our new website, Cape Charles, Virginia's Cape. If you haven't gone there, please do. What we'd love for you to do is if you have an event coming up, anything special, you have the ability to come into this site and add your event. So if we can help you to promote that event, we'd love to do that. So please be sure if you have any issues, give us a call, let us know, but we can help you get your event out. I want to talk a little bit about the grant. This is the team of people that worked on this grant with us, from the writing of it to the implementation of it. So it's really a concerted effort of a lot of different people. What we've been able to do when we got the grant, we had to guarantee the state that we could do at least 50 businesses with the amount of money we were asking for, and we have already topped that. We have currently passed 67, and I probably will have another 15 or 20 more come through before this ends. We've given out 670,000 plus of that money, and a lot of it, at least 50 to 60%, has gone to minority and female-owned businesses. From a marketing perspective, we help the town do their marketing, and we really have had a big boost since we launched some of our new marketing things, such as the new website, and as well as getting some new promotions chairs on our board. So we've obviously increased views of Cape Charles significantly, as well as on our Facebook pages for both the Virginia's Cape and Main Street. And our Instagram pages are shooting up as well. A little bit about our financials. Bill, do you want to talk for a minute about this, or do you want me just to do a quickie?
I can talk to it.
Okay, go ahead.
So the last year was kind of something I would like to call an anomaly, since it was COVID related, and that's what this covers. It's the FY, so it goes from 1 July 2020 to 30 June 2021. So it wasn't business as usual. So, for example, one of our big events is Festive Fridays. And at the last minute, like I'm talking about like 3 weeks, two or 3 weeks before Festive Fridays was to kick off last year, we had to cancel it. So that was one. Fundraising, if you'll see there, it shows fundraising. I don't know what. it says fundraising, that's, I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong here, but anyway, you know, Karen, I don't know what this is, but that those numbers are not the right numbers. So those are for FY19. But anyway, but let me just kind of give you the thing. Fundraising last year, we only made $7,833 in our fundraising effort, whereas the year before, we had in FY20 we made over $29,000. This year we started our fundraising campaign in June, and we've already we're almost on the same par as 2 years ago. We've already raised over $23,000. We started a new thing this year with benches, where you could sponsor a bench or a planner, and we've done well there by collecting over $8,000 for benches. And then this year we started off something new where we're going to have 3 main events this year. Festive Fridays is the first one, followed by a 10K, 5K fun run in April, and ending up with a Love Fest at the end of the concert series in September. So those 3 events, we asked for sponsorships for those 3, and we've already collected 9,000 out of the 18,000 goal for that. We also had a pretty big hit. Karen mentioned it in expenses this past year in marketing, and Karen mentioned Cape Charles Main Street is the marketing arm for the town, and they look to us to do all the marketing. So last year, we spent over $42,000 on marketing. Most of that went through the website that Karen just mentioned, and the new discovery map that we launched, if you will. So much so that we ordered 32,000 maps, and for the year, really for 2 years, and we're basically out of them for the first year, so we have to reorder new ones. The bottom line is that last year we lost $18,000 from expenses over our income, but we had carryover from the year before, so we were okay. Currently, as of the end of this October, we are $26,000 into the good over income over expenses. So I do want to say one other thing is, like, grants. Last year we only had I'm going to take the COVID relief grant out, but we had grants for other things that we always apply for, like Festive Fridays, the portable restrooms and things like that. Well, we only got $24,000, almost $25,000 in grants last year, and this year we're going to get $65,000. So there's a big difference, and we're back on track. Thanks, Karen.
Okay. All right, so this is what everybody wants to know. What are we going to do next? I don't know if you all participated. Hopefully you did. We just did a huge survey with Main Street America, and we were asking questions about Cape Charles, what you like, what you don't, what do you think of when you think of Cape Charles? What we're really trying to do is to continue our development of the transformational strategy for the town. And we are getting ready to summarize all that data right now, and we'll be coming back out and doing work and getting community input on where we need to go next with our transformation of Cape Charles. I know some people get concerned that Cape Charles is growing, too big, and we are very much a tourism town. What kind of balance do we need to have? So that's part of what that survey is helping us to work on. So I will be getting more information out about that soon. We have to complete the COVID relief grant. That is a requirement so that we can move forward, but we have stopped accepting applications. Bill talked about Festive Fridays and annual love run, but we do have some new plans for Strawberry Street Plaza. Well, really Strawberry Street, continuing on down from the plaza. We're going to be meeting with building owners. We do have some grant money available. We're putting new benches, planters. We're looking to do some cleanup along Strawberry, adding some new awnings, etc. So that's one of the projects we'll get to this year. We had put a temporary cart path from Cape Charles out to the brewery because we were having some issues along Stone Road that required that we try to get golf carts off the road going out that way. This year, we got a grant to do a more permanent one. We're waiting for the beach market to open and see what the other merchants along that area what their plans are for their development. But we're going to take the cart hopefully right along there and then cut down behind. So we're going to be completing that project. We're going to be reprinting our map, but one of the more, two of the more exciting ones, I'm working on a historic walking tour. Actually, I've got a great group of people here from town, Jan and Bill Neville. We've got Tom Bonadeo and some others, Laura Smith and Jane McKinley. And we're developing several different walking tours. And there'll be ones that visitors can access from their phones, and they'll be different themed. The first one we're going to do is kind of the Mason Avenue tour, but we have plans for several others along the way. So that is super exciting here. And the historic train car, I think everybody's aware we have a train car sitting right in the back of Strawberry Street Plaza. And if not, it kind of looks like this right now. It's not very attractive, but it is a huge piece of our history. And the car was given to us to Main Street, and it's been sitting there for the last few years. We did get a grant from Northampton County that is going to allow us to move that car, which is planned for this next month. We're going to get the car moved further west. And if you look further west, there's a cart path right now that runs between down, Mason Avenue and the Shanty. So what we're going to do is get the car moved down there. We just got another grant on top of that to build a track platform so that it can permanently rest there on tracks like it used to. Once that's in place, we will begin renovations. Canoni, who owns the property, has put that on, deeded that to the town on a lease, a 100-year lease, and added some extra property there in case we decide to do some other brick and mortar bathrooms, etc. Once this car is completely renovated, our intent is to turn it into a new welcome center. We've already had donations made of old Lionel train sets that we'll be able to hook up inside, and it will become a great place for people to stop, pick up information on the town, and read a little bit more about the history of Cape Charles. So we're very happy to be able to save this piece. So that's it. Happy to answer questions. We want to thank you for agreeing to help us out with Festive Fridays again. We really do appreciate it, and your contribution is extremely important. Please let us know how many hours that you spend doing it. We need to keep that volunteer hours going up. So thanks.
Karen, this is Bill Payne. The question of parking comes up continuously. Is that something that you care about or can do anything about? That's a can that gets kicked all over, but I'm sure you are familiar with the issue. I just wonder if you share a few words with us.
Yeah.
Karen, can you stop the screen share?
Yes.
Thank you.
Got it.
Yep.
Yes, happy to. I think you might be aware Cape Charles Main Street was very involved in the very beginning. And honestly, they had the quote, reverse the reverse. And that was approved by the town and it was voted on. There is now more going on. There supposedly it has to be another study done through VDOT that is going to, by an outside consultant, that's going to cost a whole lot of money, like $125,000. They want to do some study on the reverse angle parking. So it's kind of in limbo right now. I don't think we're
Karen,
going to see anything.
I can
Go
add
ahead,
some-
Bill.
I can add some to this too.
Okay, go ahead.
So we were waiting for what was the deal on reverse the reverse, and finally John Hosey got a hold of John Hosey's the town manager, got a hold of VDOT, the right people, and they said, well, you can't reverse the reverse without doing away with you would not be able to have parallel parking on the south side of Mason Avenue if you reverse the reverse. So that's a lot of losses of parking spaces. So that's why this other study is going to come out, because we can't lose the parking spaces. Now, we have that parking lot behind the two new buildings there at Strawberry Plaza. Yes, it's a gravel parking lot, but it has 63 spaces. There is the intent to pave over that and to put in lighting because the parking lot is a little dark. And it's not used. Even in the summertime, people don't use it because it's not well marked. Additionally, the lot behind the library has gone all the way through town council, and it was approved to be a parking lot. But it never materialized because of the cost. So, and then there's a couple of other things that Cape Charles Main Street, along with the town, did in this parking study. For example, there are no spaces marked east of Peach Street. So down on either side. So at least on the north side, we need to have places marked. So, but the town manager's got this, it's in the budget. So there's going to be marking done. So that's where we stand. And like, he's going to have to wait till VDOT comes back here. VDOT owns the roads. Everybody has to understand that VDOT owns the roads. So we're at their mercy.
Thank you.
Joan, you're on mute.
Can you clarify reverse to reverse parking on Mason Avenue? Is that going to create additional parking spaces, or that's just going to change the direction of the parking spaces if it ever happens?
I'll talk. You want to talk to that, or I'll talk?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so the reverse was to switch the parking spaces so they're not reverse angle parking, but you just pull into it at an angle. And an angle was to be a 60 degree angle. And that's when we went in, and VDOT came back and said, it's going to take more space to do that, pulling in. And to do that, you would give up all your parallel parking on the south side of Mason. And that's when the town says, well, we're not going to do that right now. He said, I guess the word was, it's the tourists that have the problem with reverse angle parking more so than the residents, because they're not used to it. So, and there's there's pros and cons, but anyway, we'll just wait. But that's where it stands right now, Joan, is that he didn't want to lose, the town did not want to lose all the slots on the south side of Mason.
I understand that. That would be a disaster. You're right. But I guess what you're saying is that the angle would be different and that would require the south side parking to be removed. Would that change? If it were to happen though, Bill, would that give us more parking spaces on the north side or?
No.
No.
Basically the
It's just
same.
a convenience,
Yeah.
changing the angle of the parking.
Right.
Okay, my other question is there any thought being given to removing the loading zone in front of the hotel since that doesn't seem to be used very much and all the hotel people seem to be parking on Mason Avenue?
Well, as part of the parking study, loading zones were also taken into consideration, as were crosswalks. And LD Davis did all this stuff and provided a binder this thick to the town on all the recommendations. I mean, they had crosswalks on all of Mason Avenue, on Bay Avenue, over to the beach, and on Fig Street, down off of Washington. So I can't tell you where that resides. It's with the town, but again, the town would be responsible for painting that and working with VDOT. Like the one crosswalk down there on Fig Street in Washington would be also a calming thing. It would be a raised crosswalk. So, I'm just saying that's the loading zones were looked at because there was supposed to be. There's also the one over there on the south side of Mason. There's no striping there, but people park there anyway. But that loading zone, really, it's not a loading zone for the hotel. It's like, drop off here, like at any hotel. But nobody uses it. You're right. And so where do you do a loading zone? And they looked at it and they thought somewhere around Peach and Mason would be a good one. Plus you got Pine Street. You got a Cisco truck that goes in on Pine Street and it blocks the whole street.
Right.
Okay. So we talked about taking parking spaces away on Pine Street. And that would have been on the east side of Pine. So, but because you got to have a loading zone somewhere. So that's all been looked at. It's all been detailed and it was provided to the town.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, if there's no more questions, Karen, we really appreciate the updates and we'll have you back to keep us informed, especially as big changes start. Hopefully we're emerging out of this COVID situation, and I'm sure once we do, a lot of things are going to change. So we will all want to be kept up to date. And we really appreciate your time today. We know you're busy, but we appreciate that you came on and gave us a quick update.
No, thank you for having me. And my phone's ringing and somebody's at my door.
Okay. Well, we're going to let you go. Do what you do best. Take care of us here in town. And thanks again.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Karen. So Chuck, I'd like to have one more question say here.
All right.
Since Joan brought this up. And this is I'm going to put my planning commission hat on. I just want to let everybody know that and Jackie's going to get a laugh out of this. We're in the throes of doing our comp plan redo. And of course, COVID, but we've almost completed draft chapters. So the town has also found out that there's a zoning ordinance problem. The zoning ordinances that we have do not jive with some of the ordinances don't in some cases, especially industrial, heavy industrial and light industrial. So an RFP went out to get a contractor to come in and finish up the comp plan. And after the comp plan is finished, to then go over and redo the zoning ordinances. So I just wanted to throw that out. I think the proposals are due in like on the 15th or the 18th of this month. So hopefully that'll come to pass, and that will help, because the comp plan, Bill, parking is like that's the biggest issue going. We're aware of that. Sidewalks, walkability. We know. So.
Well, I'm sure another big thing potentially hitting us all is the possibility of the reemergence of the railroad operation here that they're trying to push through.
Don't worry about that, Chuck.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying that.
I mean, that's not gonna happen.
No, but what I'm saying is that's going to emerge and they're going to fight for it, and that's going to be an issue. And no, I don't.
Hey, who's gonna fight for it, Chuck?
Those people who want it, Bill.
2 people.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm sure there's a corporate backing on this. So anyway, that's something else that I'm sure could throw a wrinkle into things. All right. Well, I think we can wrap this up. And Bill, for the 4-way test, the things we think, do, and say. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all
concerned?
3,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Friendships.
and 4,
Will it be
Beneficial to all concerned?
and most importantly, Stan,
Will we have fun?
you bet we will. Okay, thanks, everybody. See you next week.
See you.
See you on the next
All right.
one.
Hey, Paul Strong. Whoops.